Elon Musk downloads on Epstein clients Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Democrat Megadonor Reid Hoffman. And we all know knew they flew on Lolita Express, which was Epstein's plane. We all knew that they all visited Epstein Island. This is on record. This is a fact. This is exactly why Reid Hoffman is against Donald Trump, because he's afraid of Donald Trump releasing even more information. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clips from Elon Musk on Joe Rogan's show. It was a great listen. If y'all haven't listened to it entirely, I definitely recommend y'all checking it out. But we're going to play some clips here. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from InfoWars, and they report that Elon Musk claimed a big reason why the Democrats waged unprecedented lawfare campaigns against Donald Trump is due to the fact that he's set to release damning information revealing their ties to billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Now, we know they released the first tranche of information. A lot of it, the New York's field office been holding back and got rid of some of the information. We're still looking into that, trying to find out what's going on there. And if this turns out to be true when it comes to the FBI, which I do believe, we all know the FBI is very, very corrupt, then heads need to roll. They need to be held. People need to be held accountable for this. Remember, the New York, this is the same office that during the whole what's his name? The whole Wienergate stuff, when our official what was Wiener? Was Wiener a senator? Congressman? Something like that in New York. His ex-wife at the time was Huma Aldine, however you pronounce her name, aide to Hillary Clinton. He was sexting and talking to and sending pictures to an underage child, and his laptop was confiscated from New York. The New York field office had it, and then we don't know anything else about it after that. There's been stories told that the New York people that had the laptop, the feds came and picked it up, but the New York Police Department that had it originally, it was pictures and stuff in there. They said police officers that's been around the force for years were throwing up and stuff like that, and from the contents that was on the laptop, and we never even found out after. That laptop is probably somewhere in a river somewhere. We've never heard anything else about Wiener's laptop, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. Right now, I'm sorry I digressed. We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein and his clients. So let's just jump right to the clip and hear with what Elon Musk have to say about it. Sorry I went on that tangent. Let's play this clip here, though. Here we go.
Convicted felon. They kept saying convicted felon, felon. And everybody knows what it is.
Yes.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying they could do it so brazenly to a guy who was the president for 4 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That lawsuit was funded by Reid Hoffman, who is a major damn donor. And also an Epstein client.
There you go.
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
It's just, it's so blatant. It's like so obvious. The SpaceX lawsuit, the Trump stuff, it's so obvious.
Yes. Like known Epstein clients who are obviously extremely powerful, powerful politically and very wealthy, are Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Reid Hoffman. And some others too, but those three. So, why was Reid Hoffman so intent on destroying Trump?
Do you think it's because they're worried about the list coming out?
Yeah, one of the reasons. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm like, this is, so.
It's so frustrating to be sitting in a situation where the list isn't coming out.
Well, it better come out. Hopefully tomorrow.
Well, I mean, why'd they release bullshit today?
I don't know.
What's the point in giving these people like a happy folder to wave around in front of the camera with nothing in it that's new? Doesn't make any sense.
We all knew that.
It's not
we knew everything that was in it.
Like I said, it's the tough thing that they've got is, they've been made captain of a ship with a hostile crew.
Right.
So they don't have it's not like you have like magical powers. You get made captain of a ship with a hostile crew. You still have a hostile crew.
Right.
You've got to bring in people who are going to, be helpful as opposed to obstructionist.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the problem. The deep state is still there. There's still deep state actors that's covering up for these people. It's disgusting. Again, I don't think anything's going to change until these people are held accountable for their disgusting things that they're protecting. But he went on to point out that the botched release of the Epstein information this week was due to the Trump administration taking control of a ship with a hostile crew. During the wide-ranging interview, Musk also discussed how billionaire globalist George Soros leveraged his wealth to create a system of NGOs that serve to undermine democracy by advancing his own left-wing causes with government funding. That's exactly, it's a scheme. It's all a scheme. These NGOs are a way to make money. That's all it is. They're not really fixing anything. Maybe a small percentage of the thing they do is good, but the majority of it, they're not really helping people. It's a front. It's a front to make money. It's a front to steal taxpayer dollars. That's what an NGO is. That's what an NGO does for the overwhelming majority of them.
It's kind of a hack to the system where someone can get an NGO stood up for a fairly small amount of money. Like George Soros was really good at this. Like George Soros is like a system hacker. Like he figured out how to hack the system. He's a genius at arbitrage. These days he's pretty old, but a genius at arbitrage. So he figured out that you could leverage a small amount of money to create a nonprofit, then lobby the politicians to send a ton of money to that nonprofit, so you can take what might be, a $10 million donation to a nonprofit to create a nonprofit and leverage that into $1 billion NGO. A nonprofit is a weird word. It's just a non-governmental organization, and then the government continues to fund that every year, and it'll have a nice sounding name like the Institute for Peace or something like that. But really, it's a graft machine. Yeah,
it's a graft.
And what are their requirements with that money? What do they have to do?
Just really no requirements at all.
So they just get grants and the government just assumes that they're doing good work.
I think a lot of people in the government know that they're not doing good work. But it's a giant graft machine.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. To turn 10 million into $1 billion like that. Hustlers from the street wish they could do something like that. If it was hustlers in the street doing this, they would get the government would be on them. You know what I'm saying? But because there's people like George Soros doing this and they knowing this is happening, they're allowing it to happen. But Musk also explains that he went hardcore for Trump during the presidential election because the Democrat alternative spelled disaster for the future of civilization. And I definitely agree. Here we go. Let's play this clip.
The reason I went so hardcore for Trump was because, to me, this was a fork in the road, a very obvious fork in the road. If they had another 4 years, they would legalize enough illegals in the swing states to make the swing states not swing states. They would be blue states.
That's the globalist plan.
Then they would win the presidential. They'd win the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They would then make district, D.C. into a state, maybe Puerto Rico, get 4 extra senators, pack the Supreme Court. So then you'll have the House, Judiciary, Senate, and presidency, all blue. And then they will keep importing more illegals to cement that outcome.
More handouts.
Basically
more
what happened
handouts.
in California.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
it would have been the end. That's why I went so hardcore for Trump. It was otherwise been the end, and that's why the Democrat machine is so intent on destroying me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so fascinating that people can't see this.
I mean, I invite people to do their research. The more they do their research, the more they will see that what I'm saying is absolutely true.
1000%.
It's like, just do the research.
Yeah. If you look at this just a little bit, look a little bit into some of this stuff, it will blow your mind and you will see the corruption that's going on. Musk also discussed his decision to purchase Twitter to rescue online free speech, has transformed him from hero to the left to the supervillain in the eyes of the establishment. Oh, thank God he bought Twitter. Oh my gosh, man. We finally have a voice now because of it. It's amazing to watch. But let's play this clip. Here we go. Last clip.
Here's what's weird. First of all, what is it like to buy a company for $44 billion and then people call you a Nazi on that same thing that you bought?
I did not see it coming.
I did.
It's classic. People will gobble anything down.
Yeah. Oh, he's never gonna stop.
Wait. What?
What is it like? Like all of a sudden, like people used to. The left was in love with you,
Yeah.
and now the same idiots are calling you a Nazi. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
There's so many examples
Yeah,
of
yeah.
people saying my heart goes out to you.
Sure,
You did
sure.
it with a little enthusiasm that probably wouldn't be recommended
obviously-
with hindsight.
yes, but
But-
it was obviously meant in the most positive spirit possible.
Yes.
Yeah, it was obvious.
Obviously.
But it's so strange where people want to think that you are openly publicly doing secret Nazi Sieg Heil hand motions.
And now I can never point at things diagonally. I can only point at things there and there, and then I see you have to divide that.
Yeah.
Because that's where the spaceship is, over there. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When CNN, when I was in
It's
all
like
my trouble,
absurd.
Very absurd. Very absurd. And they all had the same, all the mainstream media was saying the same thing. Oh, it's a dog whistle. He was doing a Nazi salute and all. I mean, no one actually believed that. No one actually believed that. The mainstream media should be ashamed of themselves. Of course they aren't, but that's par for the course. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this conversation. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.